Hi friends, welcome back to SQL with Ravimartha. In today's session, we'll see what is TempTable scope in SQL Server. Also, we will do a couple of quick hands-on session, how to create a temp table and where the temp table is being stored and when the temp table will be dropped or destroyed. This is part 2 of the temp table session. So if you have not watched the part 1, please watch part 1 as well. So let's dive into today's session. Let's create 3 sessions for local temp table and also let's create 3 more sessions for global temp table and see what is the scope of local temp table and global temp table in each of these sessions. And we'll also create a new session, that is 4th session, and see what is the scope for it. So I have written all these queries upfront to save some time, and also I'll make all these queries available on my blog so that you can just copy and practice it if you want to. So let's get started. So here I'm creating a temp table. So I'll create 3 sessions, session 1, session 2 and session 3. So let me write session 1 here, local temp table. I'm creating session 2 as well and session 3 for local temp table. So I have the queries ready here. So I'll copy paste the queries from there to here. So this is for session 1 and this is for session 2 and this is for the session 3. So let me also copy this select query. So here I'm trying to create a local temp table which is hash employee. Let me create the table. The table got created. We'll see whether the table is existing in the TempDB or not. Yes, it is existing. So this is the table name which ends with 7D. And we'll also see through the Object Explorer. Just go to the Object Explorer, go to the Databases folder and click on System Databases. Go to the TempDB folder, expand it, and there is a folder called Temporary Tables folder. Refresh that folder and you can see just expand the plus button. So you'll see the same temp table of session 1. We'll try to insert a couple of rows. So this is one row I have inserted and I'm able to select this particular data. So let's see, we haven't created this table in session 2. We'll see whether it is accessible in session 2 or not. Let me execute this. Yeah, it is not existing here. So let's see if it is existing here as well. No, it's not existing, right? This is how the local temp table is specific to that particular session. Let me create new temp table here, the second one. So I have created the table, and if you see, this is the first temp table which is ends with 7D. Let me refresh the temporary table again. Yeah, we can see the 7E table with 7E, right? This is the table created for session 2. We can even select this, query this table. Let me insert the data. So one row affected. Let's select the temp table. So we see one row here. So the hash TBL employee in this session is different from hash TBL employee in this session, right? So here we have hash TBL employee with employee ID 1, John. In the second one, we have employee 2, Peter. And this table is not accessible. So let's create this temporary table. The table got created. So the table is existing. Let's refresh the temporary table here. So we have 80, which is the temp table created for session 3. Right? We can insert one row into this temp table and we can query this. So this is how the temp table works. This is local temp table, so which is specific to each session. Even though the name is same, each session is having a different table. So this is employee ID 2 and session 3 is having employee ID 3. And these tables will be destroyed as soon as I close the session. So let me close the session 1, which is ends with 7D, right? If I close this session, let me refresh the TempTable folder before closing. So 7D, this is the first session. I'm closing the first session now. If I refresh the temporary table, this table is gone. And this is the second session, which ends with 7E, right? So let me close this session as well and refresh the table. So that 7E is destroyed. Now we have 80. So let me close this session and refresh the temporary folder. That's it. The table is gone. So the local temp table will be stored in temporary database under temporary tables. So that's how the local temp table works. Let's try creating a global temporary table. So for that, let's create 3 sessions again. 1, session 2, session 3. I have the script ready, so I'll just copy paste the script from here to there. So this is session 1. Session 1 global temp table. Let me copy this again for session 2. This is session 2. This is session 3. So I'll copy paste the script from here to there. This is the first session, second session, and the third session. And we'll also copy the script, which is to see the temp table. Right, I'm creating a global temporary table. Before proceeding, we'll just refresh the table and we'll create this global temp table, which starts with hash tbl employee. So the table got created. We can also see the table using tempdb.sys.tables. So this is the table. So if you see, there is no extension or suffix to this particular table. Right, it's just hash tbl employee, which means that it is unique across any session, right? If I refresh the temporary table, refresh and see that the hash tbl employee has been created here. And let's insert some data here and query the table. Select star from the hash tbl employee. Yeah, here employee 1 John has been created. If you try to create the table again in another session, because there is only one table which is created with no suffix, right? So it will give an error, says that there is already object which named as hash tbl employee. So it will not let you create that. And if you insert the data, right, before that we'll just select the table in session 2. So which is having the employee 1, which is here, which is also common here. So that the same table is accessible in the other session. So it was created in session 1, but it's still available in session 2. So this is how the global temp table works. So if you try to insert the row from session 2, it will still insert to the same table, and we have 2 rows now. And the same record 2 is available in the first session as well. Let me execute this. So we have 2 records here, John and Peter. Right? Now, if you try to execute the same query in session 3, it is still available, session 1 and 2. Right? If you try to create the table again in session 3, it will give the same error because the global temp table should be unique, right? And if I try opening a new session and I execute that, so it is accessible across any session. The point here is if the created session is closed, then the tables will be dropped. So even if I refresh this particular folder, we have only one global temp table, right? If I close this particular window, let's see what happens. And let's try to access this table here. So it says invalid object. And let's refresh this folder. It says there is no temporary table, right? So the session 1, we have created the global temp table in session 1 and we have closed the session. So it is, as soon as you close the session, it is not accessible to any of the other sessions, right? If I query, it says invalid object name. So that's how the global temp table works. So let's quickly recap what we have learned in this session. Local temp tables are available to that particular session only in which it is created, and it will be automatically dropped once the session is closed. Global temp tables are available in any other session until the created session is closed. It will be automatically dropped once the created session is closed. Temp tables are created in TempDB and will be destroyed as soon as the session in which it is created is closed. The next one is temp tables are stored in the databases folder, system databases, TempDB, and temporary tables. I'll keep the script available on my blog, which is SQL with Ravimartha. Temp tables can be joined with permanent tables and can be used for processing. Let's take one more scenario. So here I'm creating a temp table and I'm inserting 3 rows to that particular table. So here I have hash table employee. So select star from the table. So we have 3 rows here, and also we are creating the permanent table as well, and we have similar 3 rows into this particular permanent table. So we have inserted the data into the permanent table as well. Now we can even join the permanent table as well as the temporary table. Select star from the permanent table, which is E, and join with temp table, which is E1 on E dot empid equal to E1 dot empid. Let's see how the result would be. So this is how the result would be. So we can use the temp table joining with permanent tables, and it will act same as the permanent tables. We can create indexes on top of that. Performance can be improved while processing. So this is how the temp table and the permanent table can be joined. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.